Greetings, Summer Training Project. On behalf of all the staff, we are excited to be down with you. Now it will be later on today. I know some of the staff are going to be trickling in here in a little bit, and you've already had a Bible study training with Eric Lonergan this morning, and so you've already seen him. But I just want to say on behalf of us, we are grateful to be back and are looking forward to seeing you at the end of today. And so we'll have a staff meeting. All the staff will collect around 4 p.m. and we'll have a staff meeting. And then from then onward, all the way till the 4th, we'll be with you. And so we can't wait to hear all that God has done in your midst. I've had time to talk with Zach about weekly, and I've just heard tons and tons of reports about conversions, about what God's doing, about how people are being molded and mindsets are being changed. And I've also been able to keep up with Jack. And I know you guys were able to speak with him this morning, but we think a basketball player just came to faith. And so we've had a lot of time, the staff, to rest some, to meet with supporters, to renew support, and to plan for the upcoming fall. And so this is the beginning of launching us in that direction. And so, since what we're having now is something that we like to call the project reflection time. And usually the staff are down here and we're able to prep this time, but since we're not, I wanted to give a few introductory remarks about what we're hoping this time will look like. And so we're going to give you some time to process through some questions and to really think about your summer. And what this will do is the staff will collect these this afternoon. We're going to start reading through them, the ones that are specifically geared toward the students that are on our particular campus. And we want to read through about what God's been doing. What have you say that He's doing in your own heart and through you? And what has He been doing at the project? And we love going into conversations and interacting with you with that on our mind. And so we know that, you've heard the adage, experience is the best teacher, but we know that it's better, as Howard Hendricks says, he says properly evaluated experience is even the better teacher. And so we want you to have time to reflect and really evaluate what God has done in your midst. And so kind of the number one end of this time is we hope this will be worshipful. We hope the next hour to hour and a half will be a worshipful, mindful time of you to say, God has been so good to me this summer. Psalm 66:16 says, "Come and hear, all who fear the Lord, and I'll tell you what He's done for my soul." And so we hope that as you fill out this reflection document, that you'll really be able to reminisce over, what has God said to me through quiet times? What has He done to me through conversations, through talks, through work, through Wednesday evangelism? So that's our number one end. And then number two, we're hoping that this would inform the staff, that we would, as we're reading through this project reflection, that we could work through it and we could be mindful, or what are you saying about yourself and what are you saying about the project that can help us plan it for the future. So we help us as we think not only in shepherding your soul for the fall, but also as we think for shepherding future students who will come on the summer training project in the years to come. And so those are really the two goals that we have for it. So I hope you have the project reflection here in front of you. If you don't, let's pause this video and take a moment to pass it out. But if not, I want to read through the questions and just going to walk through it and give a little bit of clarification on what we mean by some of these questions. And so follow through with me now. So, we'd like for you to put your name, what school you're going to be attending in the fall, and then the role. Whether you're a disciple or room leader, you were an A-man, you were a team leader, project director, or even a staff. Staff will be filling these out as well. But number one, what were the top 3 things you learned about yourself this summer? So dig deep. What is it that you've learned, that you've gleaned about how you think, about how you respond, about what motivates you, what really resonates with you? What are things you've learned on a heart level, personality level, lifestyle level, either from interacting with people in your room, or from talks, or just from what the Holy Spirit has laid upon you. Number 2, what were the top 3 strengths of projects? So you only have 3 to pick from. What would you say in order, the strengths of the project? Which were the things that were most helpful, the things that the project aimed to do that had really never been done for you before, or that hadn't been done to you in this extent? Number 3, what top 3 changes would you make for next year's project? So we want you guys to be honest with us, to even be vulnerable, we have tough skin. We want to hear from you. What are things that if we were to do this differently, or if we were to add this in, would make a significant impact? So what changes would you have us make? Would it be in the schedule? Would it be in jobs? Would it be in talks? Would it be in subjects covered? Would it be in where we have it? All of those things could be possible answers for that. Number 4, which specific talks had the greatest impact on you? And then, why or how have they changed the way you think and how you live? So what were the most impactful talks? Why were they impactful? Give us something there. Think for specifics. Don't just glaze it over. And then how have they changed the way you think or you live? On to the second page, it says, which training package, theme, Bible study, evangelism, leader's life did you benefit from the most, and why? It's more of a general question. And then into specifics. If you could change or add anything about the training packets, what would it be and why? And we've listed the 5 training packets for you. If leaders is applicable to you, then answer it. But if not, that's okay. Go down to the next one. Is there a topic that you wish we would have covered or covered more at projects? So did we miss anything? Is there something we missed there? Is there something we should have spoken into? We don't want to miss anything. We really want to steward the whole counsel of God well for you. Here, the second to the last one on the second page. Which 3 people had the greatest impact on you and why? We would love to know, not to stoke their ego, but we'd love to know who had an impact on you and why did they have an impact on you. The last one on the second page. Would you come back to the summer training project next summer? Why or why not? And in what capacity would you want to come back in? Now, we're not promising anything, and we're not saying that you somehow are commanding that we honor whatever you like here, but we'd like to know in what capacity would you like to come back, if you would like to come back next summer. And maybe you'd like to say, well, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. Here's some pros and cons on both sides. All right, last page. Here we are at the top. Would you recruit to next year's project? Why or why not? And what would you emphasize about the project experience, good or hard? So what were the good things about project you would want to make sure you emphasize with someone, and what were the things that were harder, that you didn't feel like was emphasized enough, and your expectations may not have been set up as well? And we want to become better, more honest, clear recruiters about what the project actually is. Here we are. What are 2 things you want to be held accountable for during August is one, and then for the next school term? How can the staff, how can we think for you and care for you and really hold you accountable during the month of August and also for the next school term? So put some thought into this on getting yourself not only from here, the end of project, but to the beginning of school, but then through school into your Christmas break. Now, the last 2 questions, we hope this will really provide you some freedom. But number 1, is there anything, and by anything we mean anything at all, that you would like to communicate to the staff at your respective campus? Your desires, something that's been life-changing in you this summer. Something with regards to the training project that wasn't brought up on this reflection time. How about next fall? Were there expectations you would want us to have of you, or expectations you have of us? Is there anything regarding how you want Campus Outreach to look like on your campus, or how you want us to be more biblical or faithful or committed to something? What would you like meetings? How about a vision for a certain sector of the campus? What would you like us to give ourselves to? Anything at all for that question, we would love to hear from you specifically there. And then finally, the last one, and we'd like you to use the back of the page, but in your opinion, what were the strengths and the areas of needed development for each person in your room and your team leader? And so if you had to pick for each person in your room, and then finally your team leader, if you're a guy, talk about your guy team leader. If you're a girl, talk about your women's team leader. But talk about everyone in your room, including your room leader and your team leader, and say, What were their strengths? What did they do well? What were areas that I was challenged, I was affirmed, I was helped by seeing or hearing from them in this way? And then 2, here's 1 or 2 things that I saw as a need for development, or an area which God could use as an opportunity really to grow them. And so in italics it says, we encourage you to use this question as a conversation starter during the last days of the summer training project. Let someone know of areas in their life that has encouraged you, and also let them know of areas that you see as potential progress and growth opportunities. So we really like you to voice these things out in the last 4 or 5 days of project. Say, hey man, this is something that's really been helpful that I've seen in your life. And hey, this is just something I've noticed that I think the Lord can really develop and grow in you. And I just wanted you to know. And so this is the reflection time. And we see this as an important part of project because it sets up conversations for the last 4 or 5 days, not only with students and those in your room, but also with the staff. And so the more you'll put into this reflection, and the more you'll reflect over what God has done for you and what He's done through you, I think the better it will help you, not only in conversations in the next 4 or 5 days, but also to help the staff shepherd your soul. And so take advantage of this. Don't rush through it. Give it its time and take benefit of what God has done. And we hope that it's worshipful for you, and also very, not only worshipful for us, but very informational. So we will be back with you in a couple hours. The staff will be trickling in. We'll have a meeting at 4 p.m. and then we will launch out and spend the next 4 or 5 days with you, which will be a lot of fun. We are grateful for you and cannot wait to see you. And so know that we look forward to being back with you down in Garden City very, very soon. All right. Hope this evaluation and reflection time is very good for your soul.